So I came across an article a while back when I couldn't sleep entitled, Gender Wage Gap Costs Michigan Women $16 billion per year. And foolishly, I read it. Now before I get into the article, I think Milo says it best when he says,
If you take all of the money that women earn and all of the money that men earn and you do a simple division, yes, you will find that the numbers are different, and that's because women make different life choices.
Michigan women are missing out on $16 billion in wages per year due to a gender gap. This is of course an analysis from a women advocacy group, not exactly an unbiased source. And then the article goes on to show the median, not the mean or average, but the median pay for men and women. Now I can't be sure if she meant mean and simply made a mistake with the term, but either way, it's already an error. A median and a mean are distinctly different statistical concepts. A mean is an average. A median is the middle number of a series. The median does not represent the average person in a group, so we already can't trust the statistics being given here. The article then says the data does not adjust for differences in education level, occupation, or industry. So it already states that the data is not adjusted for reality. It distinctly states there that the data cannot be trusted, and then goes on to state all of the alleged wage gap stats that it just told us are not adjusted for reality. How can you say that the data is not adjusted and then still give all of these stats about a wage gap? You're explicitly lying. You even told us the stats are not trustworthy. Why should we believe you? Knowing this to be BS, I got irritated and got an idea. I came across a website showing graduation statistics from many universities. So I went to my alma mater and copied all the information into a spreadsheet. It shows race and gender graduation statistics for every major degree given out in some particular year. It didn't specify which. And so I went down the list dividing the majors up by fine arts and education, STEM fields, healthcare, and business fields. Now I don't think there are too many people that would disagree that engineers and physicists should make more money than teachers and musicians. It at least seems reasonable to most people. And when we look at the ratios of each of these groups, we see that education and fine arts is dominated by women at a 2.67 to 1 ratio. STEM, on the other hand, is dominated by men at over 3 to 1. Business is male dominated by over 2 to 1, and healthcare is women led by over 2.5 to 1. This distinctly shows that men dominate the higher paid jobs in STEM field and business, while women dominate the lesser paid fields of healthcare and fine arts and education. That seems to confirm Milo's statement that women make different choices, which result in lower average pay. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted actual numbers. So I found the website payscale.com, which gives average salaries for a wide variety of fields based on their graduating majors. And it gives numbers from 0 to 5 years, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, and 20 plus. I downloaded this data and assigned each major the closest salary value I could find. This took some doing, but I tried to be as judicious as I could be in dividing them up fairly. After multiplying the salaries out for male and female and dividing by the total number, we result in an average of 88.6 cents per dollar for the first 5 years of employment. All other things being equal, we already see over 11 cents of that alleged wage gap accounted for, purely on the choices made by women as their major of study in university. That's about half of the wage gap depending on which study we look at, and just under half of this Michigan study for the first 5 years, but accounts for more than half of the wage gap for 5+ years of experience. And of course there are other factors involved, including the effects of motherhood, often resulting in women leaving their jobs to have and raise kids while, on average, men stay working. Different hours worked can also have an effect that the feminist movement is attributing to the wage gap. Now of course I recognize that this is not representative of all Michiganders or all Americans. There are of course the people that did not go to college, that are not accounted in this at all. But the point of this study that I made is to show how women make different choices, which result in a difference of pay. It is not men paying women less, it is women choosing to work in fields that will pay them less. How can you blame a computer engineer for making more money than a music teacher? It doesn't seem ridiculous to me that an engineer should make more money. And if women don't want to become computer engineers, who am I to tell you that you should? You can certainly make your own choice as to what you want to do. But don't get upset when the teacher that works sub 40 hours a week is making less than the engineer who is working 50 plus. And don't even try to say that we need more women in STEM fields. Colleges are doing everything they can to get and keep women in their STEM fields. There are programs and incentives all over the place, starting even in high school, to try to get women interested in the STEM fields. But when you're not interested, there's really nothing you can do. I have a friend who the only reason she stayed in her engineering program was because she was getting a big scholarship to be there. She had become disinterested in the program, but the scholarship that she had attained was because she was a woman in the engineering program. That was it. She just had to be a woman. And it kept her from leaving because she didn't want to lose the money to study something she actually wanted to do. The problem I see is not one of lack of women in STEM fields, but rather that they are being forced into the fields they don't really want to be in. The problem is not created by some fictional patriarchy. The problem is created by feminists. Feminists who are willing to complain about there not being women in STEM fields, but wouldn't be found dead in a STEM field themselves. You are absolutely free to make your own choices, but you are not free to get upset and complain about the results of your choices and blame them on other people. Women are not losing out on this alleged $16 billion. They are opting away from it. One could argue, rather, that men are working hard for an extra $16 billion, choosing to study and work in engineering fields when they could have chosen a simpler path that would give them less studying at university and working less hours. Instead of complaining that men earn more, shouldn't we be celebrating the extra work they put in? Or better yet, how about we all just shut up and not lie about our statistics and live our own lives by the choices we make? I like that option best. How about it, feminists? Just shut up.